Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today is Saturday, December 11th, and today I thought it would be fun to do a mukbang or mukbang. And basically I'm just going to be going over or reviewing slash recapping the Netflix movie called Passing. It came out not too long ago, and I should have showed the clip before this of the food that I got, but just in case I didn't, I got Thai fried rice, and that's what it looks like. And I got mild. The medium is good, but sometimes it's a little too hot. And then I also got some chicken wings. So this is what I will be eating during the course of the video. And yeah, let's jump into the review slash recap of Passing. All right, so to start off, the movie starts off very like old-timey. This whole movie is in black and white, by the way, so I know that probably turned a lot of people off from watching the movie. But I was very interested to see like what they did with the concept. Okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty. It starts off black and white. It starts off with the character Tessa Thompson. I forget her name. And she is shopping or something like that. It's very hot outside. And she's in a store and somebody drops a doll. And she picks it up and she gives it to a white woman. And she has a hat on, so you can't really see her face. Like at all. And she gives it back to the lady. I feel like they did it in black and white, so we really couldn't tell, obviously, like the skin tones or whatnot, but they also used two very light-skinned actresses to convey the point of passing. And after she leaves the store, she actually had a little conversation with the store owner about how she wanted to buy a toy for her son. And I think his birthday was like tomorrow or something like that. The store owner tells her like whatever she's looking for, they don't have it in stock right now. So she's like, okay, better luck next time or whatever. She leaves. I think she gets in a cab and she goes to this hotel. I don't remember the name of the hotel, but I'm pretty sure she goes to a hotel. And she's seated and she looks around at everybody that's in the hotel. Basically like the cafe or the restaurant, I don't know. You know how hotels have like restaurants and whatnot. And she is looking around just to see, I think she's trying to gauge, is anybody going to notice that she is black? That's what I think. You know, she notices that nobody's paying her attention, and in walks another patron with blonde hair, and it's the other lady's name, I forget her name, but the other main character in the movie walks in. And at first she's just sitting there. She's sitting there and she's looking. They make eye contact. Or at least I think they make eye contact, because they're giving us from Tessa Thompson's point of view. They make eye contact and the lady comes up to her and she's like, I think I know you. And she's like, You can tell she's kind of scared. She's like, no, you don't know me. Like, I'm not from this part of town type thing. And the lady's like, I do know you. You're Rainy. And so, that's her name, Rainy. But I think it's like Irene or something like that. And the lady's like, what? Well, not what, but she's like, oh, I guess she does know me or whatever. So, her friend invites her back up to her hotel. They had a little chit chat about her husband, and Tessa Thompson is surprised because she's married to a white man. They go up to the hotel. Her friend tells her that, oh, my husband is here on business. We're possibly going to be living here. And then she asks her friend, or she asks Tessa Thompson, like, oh, what about you? And she tells her, like, oh, you know, basically they're catching up through the years. I don't know. It's not put out, or not put out, but the information is not clear as to how long they have gone without seeing each other or whatever the case may be. But she just tells her, like, oh yeah, I'm married to a black man. My kids are black. We can't pass. I don't live here. I live in Harlem. And the other lady's like, oh, well, that's sad. And when she said that, I was just like, what kind of, well, not what kind of movie is this? Because I personally feel like people that pass or are passing, it's a lot of perception of other people and what they think you're doing or what they think your background is, I guess. So anyways, they continue having a conversation. Blase squase, right? In walks the husband, and a friend introduces her friend as her maiden name, not her married name, which I think is Miss Redfield. She's like, it's actually Miss Redfield now, da da da. So then the husband is like, Nick, can you get da 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 da? And I already knew when he said Nick, I was like, I already knew what he was referring to, but I was wondering why. So they tell her the story of why he calls her Nick. And that story in itself, I was just like, like, I don't know what this is. I was about to cut it off because I was like, Basically, he says when he met her, she was white as a lily or white as snow, something like that. But then through the years, she continues to get darker. And he's like, she gonna wake up and be a Nigger, hard R, you know? And they bust out laughing, and the friend is like really laughing because clearly this lady's black, and she just has dyed her hair blonde. Not clearly, but clearly not to him. So then my friend is like, you know what, I need to get out of here, because he starts to say his distaste for African Americans, how he doesn't like them, how they're violent, this and that. And so she's like, well, I don't feel comfortable, so I feel like I need to go. And the friend tries to stop her, and she's like, oh, we're just getting started. She's like, girl, I gotta go. So she leaves. And we really don't see her for a while, but Miss Redfield gets a letter from her, and her husband actually reads it. The husband, I believe he's a doctor, and when he's introduced into the story, it feels like he wants to leave the United States and raise his kids elsewhere, his boys. which I don't blame anybody for that, especially if you're black. But anyways, they kind of had a talk, chit chat about it. I'm sure she mentioned the fact that she met this lady and she probably, you know, retold the whole story to her husband, right? So her husband's like, well, you don't need to be friends with this person anyways. Obviously, he's on his wife's side. But he was interested to see, like, what the lady wrote in the letter. He reads the letter. The letter just states that the girl misses her. And the husband's like, well, it sounds like she really misses you. And she was like, well, whatever. She put me in a situation, you know, that I didn't want to be in. So after that, I think some time passes and then the friend shows up to the house just unexpectedly. I also want to touch on the fact that her and her husband seem not on the same page. Like, the husband was trying to touch her in the car and she was like, oh my gosh, stop, people are watching. Like, not saying that they should be doing that, it's not my business, but he just seems like very into her and she seems kind of like, you know, kind of into him, I guess. I just wanted to state that. So, moving right along, a friend shows up to the house. The lady and her husband are doing very well for herself, Miss Redfield. And she has a maid, and her maid is black. Or, I don't know, I don't want to call her a maid, but like she has a helper around her house, and she's black. And this lady seems like she pretty much does everything, like cooks and cleans and all that kind of stuff. She also seems like she don't like Miss Redfield, to be honest. She is not like her employer, which that ain't nothing new. How many people actually like their employers, right? So moving right along. When they are at the house and the friend shows up, she's asking her like, oh, where'd you find her? Like the help. She's referring to the maid. And she's like, well, everybody needs help. Like, it's not like that. Not like what? I don't know. Then she also tells her like, hey, I'm planning an event for either like tomorrow or something like that. And it happens to be an event planned, I guess, with this white man that the one that is passing knows, like has read his material. So after she tells the one that's passing this information, she all of a sudden seems interested in the event, even though the event is for black people. And she's like, well, I should go with you to the event. And she didn't stop, like the friend didn't stop, but she was like, girl, whatever you want to do. So it's the next day, and the Miss Redfield is getting ready for the event, and she knows that the friend is coming, and then she leaves her husband and the friend to introduce themselves because she's still getting ready. And I thought that was odd because I was like, if you have a friend, I feel like you should do the introducing, especially to your husband, but whatever, that's not my business. They go to the event. At the event, the lady that is passing wants to dance. So while she's dancing with her friend's husband and other people as well, her and the white man have a conversation about why white people come to that neighborhood why they do the things that they do, and it somehow leads to Rainey putting out that her friend is actually passing for white. And she was like, so then the guy, I'll never forget what this man said, but he was like, how do you know? Is it some kind of kinship thing? And I'm like, what? I was like, that was super weird of him to say. Anyways, he said what he said, and she was like, you sound real ignorant or whatever. I think she said something to that effect. The guy, I guess, I feel like he didn't say it like in a mean way. It was more of like, it definitely was an ignorant comment, but I really felt like, you know, he didn't know. But anyway, she felt some type of way about the comment that he said. And then she also said all of us are passing for one thing or another in this life. And I was like, yeah, that's true. So then I'm gonna skip. The event is over. The friend had a great time. The friend starts coming around regularly, and her husband and her have obviously moved there to New York. I don't know if they put out like where they actually stayed. I'm assuming they stayed where the white people stay, wherever that is. And things seem like, you know, pretty normal. The friend is coming over a lot. She ends up having like a relationship with the kids, and you know, the husband seems to like her, and the wife starts to get increasingly irritated with her husband and how he is talking to the friend. And I feel like, you know, she thought maybe something was going on. Maybe she thought that her husband liked the friend. I don't know, but she felt some type of way about them like talking all the time and stuff. But it was weird because she never said it. And then also, she doesn't like the fact that her husband will talk to her kids about racism, things that happen in the news. Her husband always brings up the fact that like, oh, they lynched this person because he was black. Like, just letting his kids know like what's going on in the world. And she was like, I feel like they're not ready for that. They don't need to know that right now. And I don't know, I kind of agree with her. They're so, like, kids are so innocent, and it's just like no need to rush into being an adult. I'm not saying you shouldn't tell your kids everything, but I'm saying like certain things. Like it's not, I feel like it's not necessary. But anyways, so she becomes increasingly irritated with him. And she also becomes increasingly irritated with the friend. But it's not really said why. So then all of a sudden she just stops talking to her. And then they have, I'm pretty much skipping to the end of the movie. They have this event that's supposed to be happening. And the husband somehow reaches out to the friend. And I think what happened was the friend called, the husband picked up the phone, talked to her, and the wife didn't know. I don't know if she was like out and about or what happened. But before this event at the end, She and a friend who's also black are in town, and they're like getting things, shopping. I don't know. They're just out and about. And the one who is passing, her husband, the white man, sees them. And he's like, Mrs. Redfield. And she was like, I don't know you. And she like literally ignores this man and leaves. She looks at him, like she acknowledges him. But she was like, she didn't speak to him. She left. So at that point, I feel like the one who was passing, I feel like her husband realized my wife is black or has some black in her or something. I think that's when he realized that. Anyways, the events at the end, everybody's having a good time. The friend, Mrs. Redfield, standing like by this window that happens to be open, and I think she looks out, and I was like, oh Lord, like the foreshadowing, I felt like in my soul somebody was about to die, but I didn't know who. And I was wondering if she was gonna jump. And like honestly, this was like the most, I guess, significant or biggest climax in the movie. And I was like, I don't know what's gonna happen. She was looking out over the balcony, which was super high. I don't know how many stories up they were, but it was a lot. And the husband of the one who's passing, the white man, comes and is like knocking on the door. How he knew where they were, I don't know. But I feel like it was the friend who told. Maybe she called, left a message, I don't know, something. So the husband shows up. She's looking crazy. The one who's passing, the one with the blonde hair, is looking crazy. She starts inching her way towards the window. Mrs. Redfield is still there. And right before the husband reaches her, it looks like she jumped kind of out the window, but I think Ms. Redfield like pushed her out the window. I think. And I say that because when you look at the movie, I don't know, it's like not clear like what happened, but she was very, very close to her, and the husband was about to reach her, and he was like yelling, and it looked like he could have pushed her, honestly. I don't know. Anyway, she ends up at the bottom in the snow. It's cold, so it must be winter time or something. And the husband, well, first of all, Miss Redfield is the last person to go down the stairs and see if this lady is alive or dead. The husband, the white husband, is just sitting on the curb looking like, oh my gosh, like my wife is dead. And then Mrs. Redfield's husband is looking around for her, and she finally comes down and she's like all tearful and stuff, and the police ask her like, oh, what happened? And everybody's like, she jumped. And she was like, yeah, she must have just slipped or something like that. She pretty much agrees with what everybody says, but then she starts breaking down crying, so they don't really ask her many more questions, you know? And the husband like looks at her, and I feel like he knew in that moment that she had pushed that lady. But I don't know. Okay. So what are my thoughts on the movie? I looked up the director of the movie, Her name is Miss Rebecca Hall. She's also an actress, but she said that this project seemed very personal to her. I don't know. I feel like they could have done a lot more with the movie. I feel like there were ample opportunities for it to go different places. And the lady that was passing, you know, basically getting killed in the end, I was just like, I don't know what kind of lesson you're supposed to get from this, to be honest. Like, I guess it's not worth it to be trying to pass or stay in your lane, or you need to be true to yourself. All those things come to mind, but I don't know. Like, this movie was very interesting, and I'm interested to know what other people thought about it. I had high expectations. Not gonna say it didn't meet those expectations, but it was just different. It was a different type of movie. So, if you have anything to say, comments, questions, or concerns, please let me know. Also, before I let y'all go, I want to say I was inspired to do this review by My Twisted Life and Reviews, or My Twisted TV and Reviews. I think she changed her name, so I'm gonna try to find the name, put it on the screen for you guys. But yeah, she said that she would be doing a review of this movie as well, so I was excited to hear her thoughts on the movie. And yeah, she inspired me to do this review because I used to review Underground with her, and Ty said what Ty said, whose channel has grown tremendously. Both their channels has grown tremendously. But yeah, I am excited to see her thoughts on the movie, and I just wanted to relay that information to y'all. If you watched the movie, please comment down below and let me know your thoughts on the movie. I would love to have a conversation with you about it. And thank you guys as always for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.